Okay, for some reason my phone camera is more interested in focusing behind me than at me. And I'm not sure why, but we're gonna go with it at the moment. Hi everyone, my name is Brenda Kay and I'm so glad that you are here and joining me today. I am off work for the next couple weeks and I feel really pressed to, or led to, tackle a major project and also to kind of share it with whoever is going to watch my video. So for the next couple weeks I will actually be filming mostly from my phone. I'm currently sitting on my very unmade bed in my room. And keeping with the vintage theme, I want to share a series of videos, hopefully a daily video, but we'll see how, things go. And I'll hold myself to any strict timeline. We just see what happens. On a day in the life of, or a week in the life, a series of videos on a day in the life of a 1940s housewife. Now, I see a lot of videos about 1950s housewives. So what makes this different? Like, why is a 1940s housewife different than a 1950s housewife? And really, they're not. They have the same, get up, make the beds, sweep the floors, do the laundry, do the dishes, make the meals, do the grocery shopping. All those things, that you would expect that even housewives and moms today have to do. Like, we have to do the same stuff. There's nothing different. Except now we have modern conveniences like washing machines and vacuum cleaners and fantastic contraptions. But in my mind and in my research, what would set the 1940s housewife different than the 1950s housewife is socioeconomic circumstances. So it's really annoying me that it's not focusing. The 1940s housewife would have faced wartime challenges and rationings and victory gardening, and whatever homesteading she could accomplish would have been wrapped up into her day and the rest of her tasks. So on top of the rest of her tasks, she would have been tasked with growing a garden and tending chickens and whatever else she could manage to help provide food for her family. And even though we're not in rationing times, we're not actively involved in a war, there is a major conflict going on. And we are facing shortages, food shortages, and everything is just getting more expensive. And the only way I know on my level to combat that, the only thing I can do that relieves some of that anxiety is to do things to provide for my family. And one of the biggest security things is food. Make sure we have enough food. So yeah, we're gonna go through this process of being because I don't have to work, so I'm gonna be home all day, so it'll be like housewife, even though I don't currently have a husband. I hope to one day, and I'm a very traditional person, so I still want to fill that role of housewife and do all the things that I would normally do. So yeah, a little rambly here in the beginning. I didn't quite think this thing through. I just turned on the camera. I was like, let's go for it. Because there's a lot of factors that would be like, no, you shouldn't do this. I didn't get up as early as I wanted to this morning, and I have to go run some errands, and I couldn't do the full routine. But you know what? That's how life is. So anyway, I am up, I am dressed, I have some minimal makeup on. This is about what I wear on a daily basis. And I am going to do some shopping with my mom this morning. We're going to go get some supplies for my garden that I put in, and I'll do a tour of that here a little bit later. But yeah, I'm excited to share this journey, and a lot of people are starting where I am. I'm basically starting from scratch. I do have the benefit of I have land, not land, but where I live, the house I live in, it's my family's home, so it's been in, my parents bought it nearly 30 years ago, and so I can live here, and I have the freedom to put in a garden, and I can keep chickens in my area and things like that. So but even if you don't have that, you can get started on anything, any little thing, even a couple containers, a couple pots on the windowsill, or, you know, by your front door or on your patio. If that's all you have, then it's something. You're providing something for your family that you don't have to depend on anybody else for. You just have to put, you know, seeds in a pot and give it some water and some sunshine, and you have, that's a tomato. It really is that simple, and it really is that complicated too. So I do live in a very dry desert climate. We are currently coming into summer and already hitting 100-degree days here at the end of May, and not typically the time you want to be out in the yard digging and doing hard manual labor, but we are also coming into our monsoon season here soon. In the next month or so, the rains will start coming in, and that is our second spring, basically. So I can garden through most of the winter. We don't get a hard freeze. We get a light frost a couple weeks in January usually. So I can garden. I have like 277 gardening days, I think. Usually, typically, we don't garden in, like, start a bunch of new stuff in the summer, but I'm kind of doing that anyway. I have a resource, a local gardener, master gardener, who lives in my town. I hope to connect with her someday, but she shares what can be planted and what you should be doing in the garden every month for our area. So for low desert gardening, zone 9B, I think is what it is when I looked it up. So that's, yeah, and it still fits with the vintage theme, and I'll still be sharing some sewing because I've got some sewing projects I want to do this time in the next couple weeks that I'm off. But yeah, it's a little intro, so it's already pretty long. Try not to keep these too long so that, you know, they're enjoyable to watch. But I do tend to ramble, so we'll see how it goes and how much I capture throughout my day. So anyway, I am up and I am dressed. I just warmed up some breakfast for my kiddos. We made a big batch of pancakes, so I have pancakes for a couple days. And I'm gonna make my bed and get my shoes on. I'm gonna go do the garden shopping with my mom, and then we'll see what the rest of the day entails. Okay, so I decided that part of this is going to be filmed on my camera, and part of this vlog journey thing for the next couple weeks is going to be filmed on my phone, whatever is most convenient at the moment when I'm filming. So right now we are on the camera, so if you see switching quality, that's why. Anyway, I thought I would take a few minutes while I am waiting for the sun to get off the backyard. It is supposed to be, what's the weather today? It is currently 99 degrees with a real feel of 105, so it's 105 today. So I'm waiting for the sun to get off the backyard so I can go out and spray some things down. It'll be a little cooler while I'm working. But anyway, I'm going to give a quick tour of what my yard currently, Homestead, urban homestead, yeah, that's what we'll call it, currently looks like. And I will warn you, it is a mess. A year ago, over a year ago, I broke my ankle, and not as an excuse for why things haven't gotten done, but it's taken a lot longer to get back up to normal activity levels than I anticipated. And sometimes I still have, you know, sometimes it still hurts or it swells up. I broke it pretty spectacularly. And one of the things that has been neglected has been my yard. Portions of my house and my backyard have really been neglected. So this whole next couple weeks is going to be about trying to get things back on track. And yeah, so I'll take you on a little tour of what's going on in the garden in the Homestead garden right now, and where I'm starting from. And then once a week I'll walk through and tour the garden and everything to show you guys what's going on. But anyway, I went and did some shopping with my mom today. She's very excited about the garden and the prospects, and she wants to help me out as much as possible, which I appreciate. I am a single mom on a limited income at the moment, working on, bettering that for myself and my children. But that's where we're at, what we're working with. So she is helping out with some of the things. We went today and we got some more compost, prepared compost. I do have a compost bin and I do have chickens, but the compost bin has not been touched or turned in well over a year. So I have to start basically from scratch, start watering it and seeing if it's even viable, if I can even bring it back to life, or if I need to move the bin and start all over. So that'll be a task this week that's on my to-do list at some point this week. And anyway, we bought 4 bags of compost. So I got 2 bags of just like regular compost, topsoil, and I got 2 bags of mushroom compost. I have found that this combination of the Omni soil and the mushroom compost, again, they're both at Home Depot, they're very inexpensive. My children are home, so I may get interrupted mid-sentence, but where was I? Oh, the Omni and the mushroom compost, when I was using this previously in my garden, for my garden beds, it was fantastic. So I am redoing the configuration of my garden, using very intensive planting methods and beds. So there is some of the soil already existing, but because I'm repositioning the way the beds were, I'm going to need, add more to certain areas. So I got a couple bags of that. I got a new sprinkler head, one of the little ones. Remember the little like silver ones that are like a little tripod, that you could do like really high or really low. Anyway, I got another one of those because I like to use that for watering like my yard and stuff. And the kids, my son, he's 6, he can play in it. I can turn it high when he's playing with it. I can turn it low when I need to soak the grass, or, I can use it even in my garden as like a little bubbler. They're great multi-purpose things. So I got one of those. I got a new set of gardening gloves because I needed those. What else did I get? Oh, I got some terracotta pots, which I'm going to maybe either this video, maybe not this video, another video. I'm going to make some Oyas to try out in this new garden bed and see how it works and if it's going to work for me and my soil, and for the things I need to plant right now. So in my area right now, the only things I can plant, because we're coming into this heat of the summer, are things like Armenian cucumbers and, let's see, what can I plant in June, because we're almost to June? Amaranth, sweet potatoes, black-eyed peas, and Armenian cucumbers. I'm going to start my tomatoes and my peppers for when I think I can plant those in July, like mid-July. Yeah, mid-July I can do tomatillos, tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers from the start. So I need to start those this week. But I am all over the place. I should have written notes, but I didn't. So this video is going to be very rambly. Most of them will be very rambly because that's just the way I am. Anyway, so got that. Got some chicken wire because I need to line my garden fence with chicken wire, because my chickens can fit through the cattle panels, and I don't want them jumping through the cattle panels to get to my garden. So I need to line the garden with chicken wire. So we got a roll of chicken wire today. It won't do the whole garden, but it'll get most of it. I have about 60 feet, linear feet of fencing, and the roll is 50 feet. So I'll go as far as I can, minus the 4 feet for the gate. I don't need to put one on the gate. I'll go as far as I can, and then get another roll later on. But for now, it'll get me started. And let's see, we got that. I got a new aloe vera plant because I had an aloe vera plant out front, and my grass was way overgrown, and my mom and I just hired a gardening crew. She's used the guy for years on her house, so she just hired him to come do my yard. my front yard. And when they came in the first time, I have a huge aloe vera plant, which probably wasn't very healthy to begin with, but they trying to get some of the grass out and stuff, they damaged it, which is fine. So anyway, it's not doing well. It already wasn't doing well because of the grass. So I got a new one that I'm actually going to put in a pot to start with. So I got a new aloe vera plant, got some ant bait traps, the ones that you can stick in the ground, like the little green ones that you can stick in the ground. Cause, okay, where was I? I don't even remember. But what I wanted to talk about before I go out and tour my current homestead situation, starting point, is a couple of things that I'm using to track and plan this process, because it's good to have a plan and it's good to track. Even though I am kind of a, like, take it as it comes, tackle the problem when it gets here for everything in my life. That is literally everything in my life. That is how I keep my stress level down. It's how I manage my anxiety, and which keeps my physical health, you know, good and in check when you're not carrying around a bunch of pain and anxiety and worry. Tackle the problem when it shows up. So anyway, except for gardening, it's good to have a plan of when things need to be, you know, planted, and what you're going to do to get ready for it, and how you're going to handle pests and disease and watering and all that fun stuff. So a couple resources I like to use are, for my area, I mentioned it earlier, Growing in the Garden. She is a local master gardener who lives actually in my town. She has a YouTube channel, she has an Instagram, and she constantly shares how she gardens in the low desert, and what to do every month in your garden, and what to plant, and what you should be harvesting, and all that fun stuff. So that is a good resource. Another person I like to pull resource from is Melissa Norris. She has a YouTube channel, she has a podcast. I love her books, I love her approach. Her family has been homesteading for generations. She's a wealth of knowledge to pull from. She lives in the Pacific Northwest, so her gardening area is not my gardening area, but she gardens, like her plants, gardens and grows her own meat and everything for a year for her family. I believe on like 15 acres. And another one I like is Roots and Refuge Farm. I love them. I've been watching them for a couple years. And they're here on YouTube. But for planning my garden, so you know, you pull resources from different things. For planning my garden, this year, I am actually using Melissa Norris's book, the Family Garden Plan, and it's how to grow a year's worth of food, vegetables mostly. I'm not in the position to raise my own meat yet. I could raise chickens. I know I can order like 15 meat birds, but I don't live where I can butcher them or have them butchered. So for now, we are a vegetarian homestead. You know, buy our milk from the grocery store and eggs from our chickens, and that's pretty much it. I do want to, you know, branch out into like cheese making and that kind of stuff, but that's not this video. So she has different steps and worksheets in here on how to plan. So there's like how to plan how much food you use in a month, and then you can average that out over the year. I already know basically what we eat on a regular basis, what we like to eat on a regular basis, what I want to be able to put up and can for a year, and the varieties, and you know, what will grow, what I enjoy growing. So that's all done. I don't really need to figure that out or plan that out. I do need to spend some time planning my property now that I have my fence in for the garden. The main garden, I do need to plan for, like, I'd like to have a berry bed and some more fruit trees. I have a fig tree and a pomegranate tree. I'd like a citrus tree, and then some sort of stone fruit, peaches or apricots. Probably not apricots, because a couple of my kids don't like apricots. I don't understand. But maybe peaches or nectarines. There are varieties of apples that will grow in the low desert. Things that I may not harvest, but I would like to have this set up. And it's all a learning experience. Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm often talks about making your waiting room your classroom. This is my waiting room. This is not my forever home. It's where I grew up. I love this home. I actually love my town, but I know this is not my home. I have a very strong sense of where I need to be, and where I'm drawn to live. I don't think I'm going to leave the desert. So, because I'm born and raised here, I love my home. I love my desert home. I'm not far from mountains if I want to get out. So I have a strong sense of where I'm supposed to live, or the area I'm supposed to live in. But for now, that's not in the works right now, and that at the moment seems completely financially unfeasible, but I'm trusting the vision and the great provider, God, universe, whatever you want to call source energy. I'm trusting that it will all come together when it's supposed to come together. Until then, this is my classroom. I have the opportunity to learn to do these things now. Learn when's the good time to plant, when's the good time to harvest, how to work with the season and live in the seasons. So yeah, rabbit trails happen quite often. So this is a really good book if you are trying to figure out how to grow for your family, to grow a year's worth of produce. And along with it comes a garden planner calendar. So it has some of the same information in the front of it. And then one of the things I'm most interested in this is how many plants to plant per person, since I already know basically what we eat and what we want. It's just how many of what do I want to plant. So that's in here, and then I can break it up. I've started going through and marking the months. It's undated, so you can do it however, like blank calendar. And then the week, it's an hourly week, but I'm just going to use it as like a to-do list, like a checklist. And I can break down, okay, I can plant corn I have 6 weeks of planting for corn, so I can do succession planting. Or, and then divide up how many plants I need to plant each week based on how many I need for... I actively feed me and 2 of my children. I do have 4 children. So I'm probably going to plant in my garden for probably 6 people, maybe 7 people. And that's a manifestation, law of attraction thing, because I do hope to one day have a husband, and there will be, at least 6 people, and if he has kids, then I have to plan that in. So I want to go ahead and prepare for that. And if you don't prepare the ground, you can't expect the rain. So is kind of how I look at that. So I'm preparing the ground for the rain, that someday I will have a husband, a significant other to garden for and grow for and provide for as well. But so those are the 2 books that I'm currently using for gardening. I do have a couple others that I'll be introducing here and there, square foot gardening, and I have one on homesteading on a 1/4 acre. I don't even have a 1/4 acre. I have I don't even know if it's an 1/8 of an acre. Maybe it's a 1/10 of an acre. It's very small. It's a good sized city lot, but it's not a large, 1/4 acre would be ideal to start with, but you work with what you got. And if you have even less, then you work with that. And you just figure out how to make the most of the space that you do have. So intensive gardening practices, eventually the entire backyard will probably have gardening beds and food growing in various places. But yeah, that's where things are at right now with that. And the other thing I'm using on a regular basis is my bullet journal, and maybe for June I'll show how I set this up every month. This is not just my to-do list, this is also my personal journal, and all my thoughts go in here. So I don't know how much of this I'll share, but I keep all of my housekeeping stuff in here, and all my personal to-dos, and my thoughts, and my hopes, and my dreams, and everything in here. So I think that's important to do when you're starting out on any kind of journey, or even just in life, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world, to have a place that you can just let it all out. If I need to rant and rave, I do just use a composition notebook, and I just let all the emotion. This is more of like events that happen, and my thoughts around them, and things that are happening in my life. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't help the world around you. So you have to start with yourself. And I've done a lot of work on myself over the years, and I know I have a lot more work to do. There's always work to do and things to learn and ways to grow. So yeah, that's a little rambling thing, but that's okay. If you don't like rambling things, then you won't be watching my video. If you like rambling things, then you're one of my people, and that's great. So yeah, I think I'm going to change because I'm not going to garden in my dress. And I think at the time that it is, the sun should be pretty much off the garden right now, at least the portion that I need to work on. So it's time to go get the hose and start getting things going, and I'll show you probably just the backyard today. I don't know. I'll see what happens and see what shows up in the video. The girls are hard at work in what will be my new 450 square foot garden. So that's what I'm working with. It's pretty barren. It was a beautiful little garden, you know, a year and a couple months ago, but now it's an overgrown, dry, weedy mess. But we're gonna change that. So these are my current 5 girls. Letting them do their thing until I actually start planting. Then they will not be allowed in the garden anymore. But they go right through the chicken panels. And this is their little coop. This is on the list of things to overhaul. My son and his then girlfriend bought it for me. It was a goat pen, and brought it over and had it installed. And then I put the run on the front of it. I love the run, made again out of cattle panels, so they have an 8x8 run. But I do need to clean out the inside, and I want to do the deep litter method, so get a bunch of straw, make them a new roost, because that came with it, so that all needs to come out and be tossed. And then just, you know, redo some of like the chicken wire and stuff, so it's a little bit more secure and more aesthetically pleasing. Clean up the spider webs and whatnot. Got my water on so I can water my garden. Here is my fig tree that has gotten overgrown in the last year, but I do have some baby figs, so I have some bird netting to put over that so that they don't eat my figs before I do this year. I didn't get any figs last year because I was in bed or stuck on my couch, not able to walk this time last year. I did get 3 beautiful little eggs from my girls so far today. And this is the rest of the backyard. I've got a lot of work to do. That is my pomegranate tree, and I have fruit on it. Quite a bit of fruit on it, actually. Hi, girls. Ooh, let me get my kid out here to scoop the dog poop. So yeah, we've got some nice fruit coming on. Lots of fruit this year, so make sure this gets some good water. And my back porch, again, was organized at one point, but it is quite the mess. So this is what we are working with as the main part of the homestead. When I'm working out front, I'll show you guys the front yard, but this is where the bulk of my work is going to be over the next coming months, and especially the next couple weeks. Oh, I just saw something very exciting. Hi, girls. Look out. This little grapevine I planted 2 years ago, and I thought it had died, but it is alive, so it is going to get watered and clean out some of this lantana, and yeah, maybe I'll eventually get some grapes. I thought it was dead, but I just saw the leaves and I'm so excited. These girls really have no fear of the shovel. I'm literally turning layers of dirt and they are just sitting right on top of where I'm working, looking for worms and bugs and anything else they can find. It's okay, I will take the help at this point. Hi girls, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? I don't have any treats today. Do you think you're going to pick something off my arm? I don't think so. I don't think so, little girl. You're feeling awfully brave today, aren't you? Aren't you? They're disappointed. I don't have any treats for them. Just looking around, make sure none of my neighbors are watching me because they might think I'm a little weird talking to my phone. But I just finished digging the first garden bed, doing the first turn on it. It's a 2-foot by 8-foot bed, but I'm contemplating if I want to do a 3-foot by 8-foot bed. I think I can reach 3 feet. Which my original thought was to do a 3-foot wide bed. You know, the more planting area, the better. So I think I watered it really well after the first turn. The girls came in and helped me. The chicken girls came in and helped me looking for any sort of bugs. Unfortunately, I didn't find any worms because it sat dry for so long, but I'm sure the worms will be back before too long. But they did get some ants, and I set an ant bait because there is an ant nest in that area. That's something I have fought in this garden last year, 2 years ago when I started it. So hopefully these baits, I don't want to put like poison in the ground, but hopefully the baits will take care of the ants for me. I'm hoping, because I'm allergic to ant bites, so having them in my garden, you know, having a few is fine, but having a whole nest in my garden is not my idea of a good time. And I really don't want to have to not garden in this area because of the ants. So hopefully that will resolve it, and tomorrow I'll get out here and dig some more, do another turn on it, and maybe go ahead and, if I can get my daughter to come out and help me, we can get the chicken wire around the good portion of the garden. But yeah, it's just really nice. The birds are out, the sparrows are going. I saw a hummingbird on the honeysuckle vine. And it's just a really nice afternoon. It doesn't feel like 105 degrees out here. I think I'm just going to sit here with my water and enjoy it for a little bit. And if I don't film anything later, then I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are, and thank you for watching my video, and I'll talk to you soon.